You know, one of my favorite baits is the Wacky Worm, and it gets its name from, I think, the way it goes through the water is pretty wacky. It flips back and forth like this and bounces up and down, and you can move this on the bottom, you can fish it down on the bottom, let it bottom, or you can have it almost on the surface and splashing like this just as it comes out of the water. So you got a whole range of depths you can use this, and that's one of the reasons I really like it. Now, typically and often, I mean, you can hook it up on many different hooks, but I like to use a big bass hook. It just catches better. It hangs on to them better. So this is a bass hook with a little light weight. I have a few of them that have different weights on it, so you can tell you know, what you want to do, how fast you want it to drop, therefore, and control how much lure weight you want when you cast it out there. Often you stick it right through the worm in the middle, and when you do that, it really weakens that part of the worm. Now, uniquely, too, is you can have this, see, I have it slightly off-center. You can have it in-center, and that way you get both even back and forth, or just slightly off-center, and you get a little bit one side longer than the other. Will make it wriggle a little different. It might make a big difference. But most importantly, I want to show you today is how to rig these without ruining your worms so you can last longer. And what I'm saying is not because I want to be cheap with these worms. I want them to last longer because when you start catching fish, for whatever reason, after you catch one or two on this, you want to keep this worm on there because it has an attraction. It just does. I don't know whether other fish smell it and go over to it. But what I'm going to show you, instead of using the weights of hook weights through it, you can use one of these O-rings, you know, and this is made for this, and I think you can get them at Bassmaster or Bass magazine, catalog rather, in Cabela's. But what you do is a little tubular thing with a little hook here to hold your O-rings on this side here, and then you can take this and put it in any depth you want, but typically you might put it in the halfway like I just did there. So it's in the halfway mode, and now I'm going to run this down. Sometimes I read it, but run this down until it pops off the edge, and now onto the worm. And you see now it's onto the worm right there, and then now I take my hook and I run the hook underneath the O-ring. So now I got the pressure of the O-ring right here, and it really, really works great because you don't rip through the worm so quickly. You can catch a bass or two on it, and it's just, you can have 2 or 3 setups. See, I got another one set up here in a little different color, a little different shape. Now I can just go from worm to worm. I don't have to do this every time, each time I do it. So I'll set up a number of worms before I go out fishing and have them in the box ready to go. Hey, quick tip. Wacky worms, if it's not in your arsenal, look for them. They're easy to find by, and they work really well. Okay.